Hi guys, so I'm gonna read Action Comics number 15. So the cover here is Superman lifting a sub. That's what actually kind of happens in the story. So Superman by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Leaping over skyscrapers, running faster than an express train, springing great distances and heights, lifting and smashing tremendous weights, possessing an impenetrable skin. These are the amazing attributes which Superman, savior of the helpless and oppressed, avails himself of as he battles the forces of evil and injustice. Editorial Office of the Daily Star. Take a trip to Kid Town and write up your impressions. It ought to make us a swell feature story. Say, that's a good idea. When Clark reaches his destination, he is ushered into the presence of the man responsible for Kid Town. Tell me, Mr. Holloway, how did you happen to start this place? I was brought up in the slum areas myself, and I determined other unfortunate youths would grow up in a wholesome environment. The result was Kid Town, my life's work, in which underprivileged boys have a chance to rehabilitate themselves. Of the more than 1,000 boys here, most of them were on the road to crime, but now with useful activities to keep them busy, they are on the road to clean, happy lives. And they owe it all to you. You must be very proud of your successful project. I'm afraid an accountant wouldn't call it very successful. We're deep in debt. Within 2 weeks our mortgage will fall due, and that will spell the death of Kid Town. How much money must you have to avoid the foreclosure? At least 2 million. That's how much we need to pay it off, and to enlarge in our town sufficiently so we can take care of the thousands of requests for admissions which we have found it impossible to accept. As Clark reflectively walks back toward his office, I'm going to help Holloway. That I've definitely decided. But $2 million and to be raised within 2 weeks? Woo. That is a task for Superman. I salvaged $1 million out of that oil stock manipulation case. I think that was in the last issue. I think it could have been number 12 too. I'm not sure, or 13. But how I'll ever raise that second million is beyond me. Within a nearby bank, a holdup is in progress. Let's get out of here. The cops will be here any minute. Come on. As the bandits rush from the bank, they find a solitary figure between them and freedom. Hey, stop. Out of the way. Rush 'em. Look, he won't die. Bullets? I eat 'em for breakfast. Goaded into action, Superman tosses about the fleeing thieves as though he were a juggler. $5,000 for a few seconds' work, not bad. Only $995,000 to go. I insist you accept this $3,000 check. Your overpowering of those vile crooks is a sight I, as a bank manager, will not forget. $3,000, thanks. And you'll get another 2,000, fella, for the capture of these desperate wanted characters. As Clark continues on his way, my luck must be improving. That was a stroke of good fortune. Through a quirk of fate, an odd little man turns the corner and walks directly behind Clark. But I must have more money. Gobs of it. How can I get it? Bah, how strange life is. Here I have so much money I don't know what to do with it all, and my existence bores me. From around a nearby corner whizzes a car, its delicate mechanism haywire, running wild. Hey, watch where you're going! Smashed into the tree, crashes down towards the two hapless pedestrians. Pinned beneath the tree's great weight, the little man is slowly being crushed to death. Help! Help me! I cannot let him die, but if I display super strength, it may give away my true identity as Superman. Tossing aside personal considerations, Clark leaps forward, pits his mighty muscles against the tree's crushing weight. Out you go. You're too late. I'll die, and I don't want to. I want to live. Calm yourself. You're okay, except for a few scratches. You were great. Super. You're superb, and I owe my life to you. I won't argue that. I insist you accept this check. It's a trifling sum, only $10,000, but you've earned every cent by saving my worthless life. You needn't insist, I'll take it. Just $985,000 more needed. Clark, think you'll make it? Altogether, $1,500 in cold cash. Later, editorial office of the Daily Star. I've turned the Kid Town yarn over to a rewrite man. The well-known explorer Warren Kenyon is staying at the Barclay Hotel. Dash over there and get an interview. When Clark reaches Kenyon's room, have you anything of interest to announce? I've just returned from a treasure hunt, and I'm glad to say I've succeeded in acquiring a fortune. Congratulations, say. Locating buried treasure must be pretty difficult. In some cases, locating it is no trouble at all. The difficulty arises when you attempt to salvage the treasure. Here's a map which almost every treasure hunter possesses. It marks a spot in the ocean where a Spanish galleon was sunk with its cargo of $1 million in gold, but was so embedded in the coral is the ship that it's impossible to blast through to the gold. Clark returns to the newspaper office. Here's the story, sir. How now could I have that long due 2-week vacation? You've earned it. Have a good time. Sunken treasure, $1 million in gold. Sounds perfect. Fabulous treasure awaits seekers, claims Warren Kenyon, explorer, by Clark Kent. I can't read any of that. I think it says "say" there, and map switch the sunken treasures too. Among the many who read the article is Big Boy Cheney, ruthless gang leader. Fabulous treasure, eh? Another gang has ideas along a similar line. What's your plan, Marchetti? We've been wasting our time on penny ante rackets. $1 million in gold, that's what we're going after now. Make a beeline towards the Daily Star, Muggsy, and get the dope on Clark Kent, the reporter who wrote the story. Machete's pretty smart. Wonder why he wants me to check up on this guy Clark Kent. So long, you lucky stiff. I wish I could get a vacation too. Where do you intend on going, Clark? Don't know yet. Taking a vacation, eh? Right after writing that article. Sounds suspicious to me. When Clark leaves the Daily Star building, he is trailed by Muggsy to a shipping office. I'd like to rent a large boat for about 2 weeks. Can it be arranged? The Dragon is available, but you'll have to hire your own crew. Muggsy reports back to his chief. And he rented the Dragon. I knew it. He's going after the treasure himself. Come on, we got to get to the Dragon before he hires the crew. Upon reaching the pier where the Dragon is moored, Marchetti finds a number of sailors waiting to be considered for employment. See that those guys don't apply for the jobs, get me? We gotcha. Quit shoving. Getting flip, eh? In another moment, the pier is the scene of a free-for-all fight. Now remember, when this comic was made, this was in the Great Depression, so there was a lot of unemployment, so that's probably why they're fighting each other for the job. After the sailors are put to rout, your men will do, on board. Shortly later, the Dragon moves out to sea, bearing a weird cargo, Superman and a crew of conniving gangsters. Meanwhile, at the government Navy Yard, Big Boy's mob swings into action. All right, men, you know what to do, and hurry. We haven't much time. Ugh. Noiselessly, Cheney's men take over the controls of a government submarine and guide the vessel out to sea where they submerge from view. Sub-stolen, no trace, mysterious mob pilot's craft. According to the wireless, a government submarine, the D-11, has been stolen. Strange. There was also a flash about the impending foreclosure of Kid Town. Well, with luck, I should be able to avert it. Now? Not yet. First, we'll let him locate the goal for us. Or the fugitive D-11 heads towards the same destination. Okay, so it's backward. Okay, the days passed uneventfully as the Dragon slowly wends his way towards its goal. while the fugitive D-11 heads towards the same destination. Finally, the Dragon reaches the spot indicated on the treasure map. Yeah, I think all the comics should have panels with numbers, so it's much easier to identify, which is which. I think that's a good way of doing it. Stop the engines. Preparing the diving bell for use. Yes, sir. Clark enters, then its entrance sealed. The massive diving bell is swung out over the ship's side and dropped beneath the ocean's surface. One below and we're rid of them. Not yet, hold it. The diving bell settles on the floor of the ocean with a jar, disturbing the strange creatures which inhabit the sea's bottom. Through the bell's glass observation port, Clark sights a weird vision, the shimmering wreck of an ancient galleon. I found it. I found the sunken ship. He's found it. We're rich. Okay, Muggsy, now. Ruthlessly, Muggsy severs the airline which supplies oxygen to the submerged Clark Kent. Hello? Hello down there? No reply. That's the end of him. But when the diving bell is hauled up to the surface... What the? He ain't in it. He's gone. Clark has forced his way out of the diving bell, so when the airline was cut, he was unaffected. Upon removing his outer garments, revealing himself clad in the Superman costume, Clark swims towards a wrecked galleon. He can hold his breath for hours underwater. It's a Spanish galleon, all right, and so firmly embedded in the coral that I don't wonder treasure hunters fail to break through into it. Suddenly, down in toward the Man of Steel lunges a shark. A lightning speed leap carries Superman out of the creature's reach. But more sharks swoop to the attack. Superman is surrounded by them on all sides. Abruptly, they simultaneously close in. Darting sleek figures, gaping jaws, the water churns as the Man of Tomorrow and a dozen sharks engage in a furious death struggle. Flailing, tearing, Superman beats back and destroys the deadly fighters of the sea, who fail to pierce his impenetrable skin and evade his crushing metallic grip. Beaten back, the surviving sharks flee. Superman has emerged victorious. So yeah, Superman just killed the sharks. Whirling, Superman attacks the coral, rips it apart, sends it flying in all directions, forces an opening in the wreck's side, then enters the ancient galleon which has lain undisturbed for centuries. A few moments after Superman disappears through the ship's hastily contrived entrance, the stolen D-11 approaches within view. Investigate the galleon, then report your findings back to me. Good Lord, the bodies of the men who went down with this ship. Gold, ancient coins, and bullion. What's that? Sounds like someone's coming. Into the ancient galleon march the men from the D-11. The invaders are horrified to see a ghostly figure from some past era floating weirdly towards them, hand outstretched. Frightened half out of their wits, they take to their heels. As Superman removes the ancient Spanish costume he has donned. Ho ho, that was actually funny. Wonder who they are. That's actually really messed up. He dressed himself up in a dead guy's clothing. Imagine how many centuries that has been there. A corpse wearing the clothes. If you guys understand what I'm saying. It's just so weird. I don't know why he couldn't just attack them as Superman. Anyway, when the big boy hirelings re-enter the sub, I tell you, it was a ghost, and he's after us for disturbing his rest in place. Let's get out of here. Are you guys going nuts? Expect me to believe that cock and bull story? What are you trying to pull? Look, he's coming. Go on, oh my gosh, it's true. And start the engines, full speed ahead. As Superman nears the submarine, it commences to get underway. The D-11. Why, that's a submarine that was stolen from the government. Reaching out, Superman seizes the sub in a grip of steel, preventing it from moving, and rips off its propeller. Within the D-11, its occupants go half mad with terror. Why aren't we moving? Get going, do you hear, or I'll shoot you down like dogs. Something's wrong, it won't move. Along the floor of the ocean walks Superman, dragging the great bulk of the submarine after him. Whirling the D-11 up on end, he aims it upward, then heaves it with all his might. The sub shoots out of the water and into the air, so great is the force of the toss, at the very side of a battleship which is searching for it. At a few shots from the battleship, and the crew emerges on the sub's deck, hands raised in surrender. Donning his civilian garments, Superman swims to the surface alongside the Dragon. It's him, alive! Heave me a line. During the next hours, the ancient gold is raised from its resting place of centuries and placed aboard the Dragon. The cargo loaded, Clark's vessel sets out for home. This line was deliberately cut. I better keep close watch on the crew. The knife, eh? He's asleep in his cabin now. Let's get this over with quick, and the million's ours. Within Clark's cabin, they couldn't, of course, know that my super hearing has enabled me to overhear every word. I'll be ready for them. Stealthily, the crew members creep into Kent's cabin. Murder bent, Muggsy raises his blade for the kill and smashes it down towards the apparently sleeping figure. Holy cats, it broke! Leaping erect, Clark tears into the gangsters. And before I finish with you, there will be several broken necks. Within the Dragon reaches shore, Clark turns his crew over to the authorities. I believe that mutiny carries a stiff penalty, doesn't it? You bet it does. You and your smart ideas. Next day, Clark again visits Kidtown. We've had the most amazing stroke of luck, good luck. Some anonymous person sent us a $2 million donation. Kidtown's worries are over. If only we knew who it was so we could thank him. Whoever it was, I'm sure that the knowledge he's been able to help your fine cause is sufficient thanks for him. So the end. There's like a ad for the Sandman and Batman. There's ads for those two comics. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy this video. If you could like, comment, or subscribe, that would be appreciated. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later.